Hi, and welcome to the Monday, October 14th, 2019 edition of the etcdadm office hours, a sub-project of sig-cluster-lifecycle. Not too much on the agenda today, or at least that if you want to add something else, go ahead. I'm stuck. Not really stuck, I guess, on the end-to-end tests. All I want is to just run etcdadm in it, and then like a subsequent etcd cuddle member status just to confirm. Although etcdadm will actually confirm the health, I think, before exiting. But I think that's a very small PR. But I guess I've been hesitant to PR that because I think that PR that needs to land before I can test with Prow, and so I've been trying to test with Prow locally, and I've had some issues. But maybe I'm making things too complicated. Maybe I should just PR that, and then.
Yeah, I think
okay.
so. I think most people do. For new jobs, like they're not expected to pass right away. I think there is also, which I just found, or Ben recently told me about, try Phano, or Phano, I should say, rather than being so didactic. Phano, which is a local runner. That's my pull request where I made it easier, but you don't need to install all of Prow. You can do this thing.
Okay. I tried. So I saw Phano, and then I saw some what looked like maybe more recent updates to the docs that talked about a bash script that was and I tried using that. It's called, what is it called?
MKPJ?
pjonkind.sh.
Okay. I wonder if PJ Unkind calls.
I think it does.
Okay.
I think, yeah, because I think it does like make mkpod, mk. Okay, so I just didn't. So I didn't go down the Phano road, but I can try that. I think it sounds like what you're saying is PR it as long as it runs sort of locally. Then I can make subsequent changes to make sure that it's running okay in that Prow container.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I think there's pretty much new jobs will be expected not to work, and as long as we don't destabilize Prow, which doesn't really happen because there's lots of tests. And then I'd like to make sure that you don't corrupt Prow. And then Phano is I was able to run the test locally with a modicum of work, so that was pretty nice. So yeah, between those, I'd be like, yeah, that's pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, you can also ping me if you want, and we can try to figure it out together, because it'd be great to get the first one is going to be definitely CC me on the code review as well. But the first one is going to be the interesting one. We're getting the first one going.
Yeah.
If we have the ED test runs if you run it locally, right? Or whatever test we're doing runs locally.
Yes. Yeah.
There's some tests. So yes, we're just trying to hook it up to Prow. Yeah. So I would send one up, and then Ben is also, well, there are a couple of people that are super helpful. Like Ben the Elder is super helpful at those things, but we can also see. We can figure out ourselves.
Okay. All right. I will. So I'll PR the test that runs locally. The idea is just it can't be any simpler. I think I just run etcdadm in it and verify that that the single member is healthy and responding to API requests. I think etcdadm. I mean, it does that anyway, but I can add.
And is it a bash script? Sorry.
So.
What is it?
I've been thinking if I should leave it as a bash script, which is probably. I mean, it's simple. I could try Ginkgo. I don't know what the or what do you suggest?
I suggest putting it as a bash script for now, and then
Okay.
I found that it is possible to put them into Bazel tests or Go tests, which is then pretty nice. Like just straight Go tests, no Ginkgo, no nothing.
Okay, I've done that. I've done that before.
Yeah. So we can, and then we can change the bash script to invoke that if we want to, and that feels pretty safe.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Initially. Yeah. The bash script is, I think, it's a CLI, least overhead possible. I'll have the it's a safer bash script as can be, right? No ignoring errors, no allowing undeclared variables, things like that. So
yeah, and it's mostly about just getting it hooked up first, so that's great.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll have that today, and I will CC you.
Sounds great.
Then I guess the other thing is a roadmap. At the last sig-cluster-lifecycle meeting, there was a request for project roadmaps to share at the Contributors Summit. So yeah, and I said I would work on that. I think really, the main things that I think I see are, we need to define API types, and that leads to then reading configuration from a file, and then support joining non-voting members. I just wanted to put that on there because that's something that we've talked about. There are some things, I guess, that's like moving to etcd 3.4, although I think etcdadm does support that. It's just not, that's not the default version right now.
Yeah, I was planning on trying to hook it up and see what happens when we try to use it with cluster API in some way, a machine API or cluster API in some way. See what happens.
Okay.
See how badly it breaks.
Yeah, there was a comment that Chuck Ha posted in the Slack. It was meant as a joke, but he said cluster API, etcdadm provider, as a way of spinning up external etcd clusters, and it actually it could very well work. It would maybe just ignore the sort of the Kubernetes
the Kubernetes version might be the etcd version.
Yeah,
that would be horrible. But yes, it might work. It'd be a good test. Yeah, I'm trying to think what I mean by that. I want to try to do it, but I'm trying to understand. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure on tactics of how to do that. But yes, I think in terms of roadmap, roadmap item is integration with cluster API, right?
Yes.
Or getting it working with cluster API or some sort of functionality in that regard. And it might be that we don't need self-driving right away if, as I understand, cluster API currently for control plane is oriented around machine and not machine deployment. So it might be okay. But yes, it's interesting to think that we have like what Chuck said, the cluster API provider bootstrap cluster, whatever that bootstrap cluster API provider bootstrap kubeadm, for example, but like a per machine hook is interesting to think that we have.
If we wanted to try it, I think we might be able to do it even today without additional changes. There are, I believe, you can add arbitrary commands that will run pre and post the kubeadm. It's not quite they're not arbitrary. I think mostly the limit is in user data. So user data, from what I remember seeing, is limited to 16 kilobytes.
On AWS, yes.
And so yeah, if you have, if you're passing in, if you're passing in a lot of data, I don't know, maybe certs, at some point you could exhaust that or exceed that limit. But yeah, if that's something that we wanted to try, I guess that would mean, yeah, modifying the kubeadm config, or basically, yeah, saying don't use, or yeah, use external etcd and then calling etcdadm in these hooks, these post kubeadm command hooks.
Post.
Oh, sorry, yeah, pre. I think I'm pretty sure there's a pre.
It might not matter though.
Yeah, it would be tough.
It might work either way.
Post. No, because kubeadm would get stuck waiting for the control plane to come.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So are you saying that would be that's something that we could try?
Yeah, I'm definitely. I want to take a look at that. Hopefully this 2 weeks, as it were.
kubeadm bootstrap.
Not necessarily the kubeadm, but like definitely like trying to figure out how it where it should fit.
Okay.
I don't want to tie myself to any particular provider.
Yeah.
But yeah, the kubeadm pre-hook is a good idea.
Okay. And so for self-driving, what do you want to put for the roadmap?
Yeah, it's interesting to think whether, so certainly like automatic backups, because we don't have that, right?
Okay.
Like no matter what, even if we, so I'm just like saying like, so if we get a good cluster API integration,
yes,
maybe we don't need self-driving because it would be done by the management cluster, but we do need things like automatic backups, ability to restore from a snapshot or launch from a snapshot, that sort of thing.
Okay.
But yes, we can leave self-driving in there, and we'll see what falls out of the cluster API. But that's why I think cluster API is for me the next step, which is like Kops is going to try to do that. It's going to try to integrate with cluster API, and so we're going to do nodes first. But then when we do the control plane, like maybe we don't. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But maybe we don't need as much of the self-driving functionality. I think we still do because Kops has to run in a self-driving mode where it doesn't have a management cluster. Kops could be that management cluster, for example. So even if we support running with a management cluster, which might be simpler, we'll likely still need some self-driving.
So before we implement something like automated backups, do we need to think about how etcdadm runs? So we can't have anything automated today unless it's externalized through something like a cron job or a Kubernetes job or some other mechanism. So before we have something like automated backups, do you think we need do we need that part built in, or do we say etcdadm backup at let's say S3 bucket target will do everything for you, but it's up to you when that actually runs? Would that be a good initial?
That's reasonable. That is definitely a first step.
Okay, so should we call that
backups? Backup and restore.
Backups.
Sure. Yeah,
Backup.
And then we can say to support or some example configurations for periodic backups. I'll put that in there.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, that's a good little list.
Do you, I don't know. I mean, this seems like it could be. Should this be sorted in like likelihood of being implemented first? Like backup restore functionality seems like that could be could even happen today.
Yes, I was also going to say yes, that could. Otherwise the list seems like it's in a pretty natural order.
Okay.
I don't know if you did that on purpose.
No. Well, yeah, I guess kind of. Yeah, like you got to have the types before you can read a configuration from the file. Do you want to move the backup restore anywhere?
I'm fine with it where it is.
Okay.
But it's, if you want to move it, I'm happy with that as well. The restore is going to be the trickier. Like backup feels fairly easy, but restore, it feels a little harder in terms of like how do you plug that in.
Oh, so okay. That's it's a good thing that you mentioned this, because when I read backup restore, what I'm actually thinking is a symmetric operation. So backup, take a snapshot, store it. Restore is fetch the snapshot, or actually, I guess maybe is that not symmetric? I was thinking that restore would not. I was thinking that recover would be a separate operation from restore. So restore would just be fetching a backup, and then recover would be something separate.
Okay. We can dig into that more. Like we don't have to like pre-evaluate, but yeah, like I remember in etcd manager, like the restore from backup is, you can't like restore it if you have an HA cluster, right? Or not, you can't easily restore if you have an HA cluster.
Right.
All this sort of fun. So, or recover, I should say.
Recover.
Yeah, you're right. There's the like there's the I want to preload a backup so that I can sync faster. And there's the everything has died, I need to go back to a previous snapshot. Like those are two sort of different use cases, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and just one thing that I would want is to be able to, fetch the backup. I wouldn't want to. So imagine I'm in some situation where I have a limited window to fetch the backup, and maybe that's not the window when I want to do the actual recovery. So now I want to be able to say, hey, fetch this backup from wherever you stored it, and then let me do the recovery at some other point. That's all. Okay. Instead of forcing the two, the fetch and the recovery to be
at the same time.
Yeah. At the same time. Okay. So I will. So I'll take this. I will take this list, and I will PR a roadmap markdown. Is that?
Oh yeah, we're supposed to put it in the other doc, aren't we?
Yes. Yeah, but I can do both.
Oh, okay, cool. Yes, that'd be wonderful.
Okay. So PR as roadmap, and add to the lifecycle doc. Okay, so let me I'll assign those to me. Okay, and say something I forgot. Do you have any suggestions on what to do with issues and milestones? Would that be a useful thing? Should I like take all the issues right now maybe and put them in the next milestone?
Sure.
Sort of like cluster API. Okay. Just to maybe make it a little clearer. Okay, so I guess that's not gonna make a big difference, but it'll introduce milestones. Okay, so I'll add the next milestone and move issues in backlog there. All right. Oh, it turns out there's actually an easier way of doing of assigning things to yourself. So if you do, I think it's to do. Oh, that's strange. Oh, there we go. Now I get this suggested action item assigned to me. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, Google Docs will parse out a to-do.
Nice.
And anyway, something I found out accidentally. Okay, so I'll do those things, and I will PR the init test that runs local.
Sounds great. Thanks, Daniel.
Yep. Anything else?
No.
All right.
Have a great day.
Thank you. Good to see you, Justin.
Bye.
Bye.